on those special occasions when you think just taking a selfie with your mother or your father and posting them on Facebook and writing big status messages there and getting a lot of likes and comments is gonna make your parents happy. Honey, reality check, they don't care a shit about your Facebook statuses or your Facebook pictures or your WhatsApp statuses or pictures. You know what? Keep your phone aside, take them out, go on a holiday with them, or probably just sit at home, watch television together and switch the TV off at times and just look at them and ask them, so, how was your childhood? So this one night, like always, I was watching a movie and Mom walked into my room. And this time she didn't yell at me or tell me why I wasn't asleep, why I was awake so late. She looked at me and with a lot of grief in her eyes, she said, I'm in a lot of pain, help me. I can't tell you how that moment felt. And for the first time in a long time, I realized my mom was limping. I immediately took her to her room. I helped her lie down on the bed. Throughout the night, I was there with her. I was there right beside her, trying to put her to bed, trying to get her to sleep so that she can get away from all the pain. It's very easy to talk about all of this now, but at the time when it was happening, I really can't explain what was going through. I mean, going through me, going through my dad, the entire family. We didn't know what was happening because mothers are the backbone of the entire house. She's the one who's holding all of us up. Getting up early in the morning, from looking after our diet, our meal, our health, the money of the house, every single thing, to her own work. She handles everything all alone. Who handles her? Nobody. And that is what we came to realize at that moment. Anyhow, one day she came home and she was limping more than usual. So I rushed to help her and I got to know that she was trying to get down from a rickshaw. And as soon as she put her foot down, she fell flat on her face because she couldn't feel her feet anymore. It all became numb. The entire leg became numb. And that was scary. That was really, really scary. We went to the doctors. They said it's probably a neuro problem and she has had a neuro problem in the past. So we took her to Chennai. There were a few tests and all done there and yeah, she came back fine. Again, a new problem started arising. Her hand was not moving. All of a sudden one day, she started having pain right about here in the shoulder and she couldn't move her arm. And then after a few days, her arm stopped moving altogether. It was stuck like that. Again, we went to some more doctors. The biggest of the corporate hospitals in the city and outside, of course. We went to the doctors. They gave her medication. They did numerous amount of tests. And of course, as most of you would be aware, every test that is done, which is prescribed by a certain doctor, the doctor gets 40 to 45% of that money. Now, I won't say that every single doctor who tells you to do tests, they're just trying to extract your money. But every single test that was done was not needed the only one test that was needed was not done. I'll come to that later. Anyhow, moving on. One day I was coming back from work. It was late at night, say about 10 or 11 o'clock. And I was greeted by my neighbors who were standing near the street of my house. And as soon as they saw me, they rushed to me and he said, "Go home, fast." I said, "What happened?" "Your mum fell and her legs broke." I stood there in a shock. I didn't know how to react. I was completely taken aback by the entire incident. Now, right before this incident happened, because mum started limping all the more, she slowly stopped walking altogether. I got her a stick, a walking stick. So she would take support of that with both the hands like that, and she would walk slowly from her room to the sitting area or from her room to the washroom and back. Now I knew in the back of my mind that mum was not being able to walk. Then how did she fall? If at all she fell while trying to walk, that means the situation just got worse. I rushed home. I ran as fast as I could. And when I walked in, I saw my mom like I've never seen her before. Half her body was inside the loo and half lying outside. She was there on the ground. My aunt had put a pillow near her head and she looked at me helplessly and she cried out, "Mama, I fell, Mama. My legs broke, both of them. I'll never be able to walk again." I stood there, I looked at her. I turned and I looked at my dad, who's always the strongest person in the family. He was crying, he was howling. I honestly didn't know what to do, and come to think of it, I still don't know what would I do if I see anyone else like that again. She was crying, she was in so much of pain, and I could see her legs were not straight. They were crooked, they were turned, they were twisted. And my neighbors were there all around, putting ice on her leg continuously. We had already contacted the hospital. The ambulance was on the way. As soon as the ambulance came, they carried her down, and for the first time in my life, I was witnessing something like that. And to my own mother. People were carrying her down in a stretcher. She was taken to the hospital, and as soon as we entered, I found out the hard reality of life. A big time reality check. And you may think what that would be. This hospital in itself is a big reality check for everyone. Mum was there lying on a stretcher. Dad was busy filling out forms because that is the major norm here in Kolkata. You have to fill out the forms first, they'll take the money and then they'll admit the patient. Anyhow, I was waiting there with mom, constantly holding her hand, putting my hand on her head and telling her, "Mama, it's okay, Mama, it's okay. The doctors are here. You'll be fine. Nothing to worry. It's just a fracture. It'll be over before you know it. It's all gonna be fine." But I knew deep down that it won't. And I'm sure she did too, because she was the one facing it. The doctors were standing right there beside us, laughing, giggling, cracking jokes on their own, while my mother and I waited there for 45 minutes without anybody's help, without any assistance of any hospital staff whatsoever. Now, I'm unable to name the hospital which was attached to this very case, because I've been told that I may get into legal issues. To be very honest, a woman my age or of my caliber should be able to do a lot more. Should not be confined in a space and, my freedom of speech should not be snatched away from me. But living in a hypocritic democracy that we do, there's not much we can do to help. After 45 minutes, however, my mother was attended to and taken into the emergency. She was given a bed and the on-call RMO came. The tests were done that very day, that very night rather. It was very late at night. By that time it was already around 11:30, 12 o'clock. And the RMO looked up at the X-ray copies like that and in front of all of us. The exact line he used was, "This is not a normal womb. There's something wrong here. I think it's cancer."